Um, Hello, thank you so much for your purchase in a tarot card reading. So thank you so much for reaching out to me. I know you're on the other side of the world, so this is pretty exciting. So we're gonna tune into. Let me put this up more. Okay. All right, we're gonna tune into your questions. I do have your text is here, so I'm gonna read it. Your name and info will be confidential. So let me see here. This is a lot. Actually, I'm gonna just hear really quickly and then I'll be back. Okay, so I heard your recordings. It was really, really interesting about the constellation thing that you mentioned. I've never heard of that before. Very, very interesting. I gotta read up on it more and like just to understand it more. I think it's seems like a very interesting way of like maybe finding out information intuitively. I think that's really cool. I definitely want to check that out. So I was reading up your stuff here. You're talking to me about things that's happened to you in the past, and so again, your name and info is confidential in this. So I'm just talking about whatever you wrote here, but no one knows who you are. But I do put these videos on YouTube because it's easier for me because you always have the link and you can look back on it, and you always have it saved there instead of it being lost in an email somewhere. Okay. So you were basically telling me financially it's been difficult for you, and then you felt like you've been depending on your parents, but you don't want to do that anymore. Something about a dream with your dad, where your dad. I could relate to that. About your dad, maybe my father figure, my father, um, definitely has always had this tough love on me, where for him, his view of success is different than my view. And I'm just a very different person when it comes down to like, well, yeah, what I was wanting to do with my life and the things he wanted me to do with my life. So I could definitely relate to you there, like the freedom loving, the free spirited sense of you. And he probably doesn't understand that. Okay. So your question is, how do I get to a better place with these things? So we'll turn into financially, work, career. And then second is with how I am, I often have so not being able to truly be myself, not being able to shine everyone else, so I can contribute positive. I feel you, I get you, I feel the same. I feel the same. That is I can relate to that. The whole thing of feeling rejection over and over again. I completely can connect with that. Someone once told me that I am part extraterrestrial, and I'm going to imagine it could be true. I'm also UFO encounters. I've only had one UFO encounter, and that was through a dream. And I feel like they could still connect to you through dreams, even if you don't see them physically. And that was only one time, and that was really powerful for me. I have a video on YouTube there if you want to check it out on my actual channel. Definitely, it feels very bad to kind of I always live on the sidelines like social media, so what I would like to know is how I can improve like that. So I have to say, you seem like very, very very, very intelligent person. It seems like you have a lot of potential as well from like your voice recordings, the energy I was picking up. I feel like there's a lot of potential that you have and you're capable of manifesting whatever you want in your reality. I feel like a lot of it probably has to do with maybe your family and how they've made you feel about yourself and about what the norm is in society. Okay, what is normal and what's not. Okay, um, and so I feel like you're not limitless. I mean, you're not limited. I'm sorry, you're not limited. I feel like you can attract whatever you want to attract, and you shouldn't feel like there's a lack in that. Okay, so let's tune in here. Your first question is, how do you get into a better place with these things? Okay, let's tune into your energy here. We'll talk about the extraterrestrial stuff after. First off, I definitely feel when you feel out of place like that, it means I definitely feel you're a very spiritual person. I do feel like you have connections with extraterrestrials, but I also actually feel you're very psychic. Feel you're very psychic and you're very spiritual as well. So there's that sense of you that feels like maybe it's hard for you to belong here, or it's hard for you to feel connected with this, with this world. I am on the same boat. It's really, really hard for me. Obviously, I have to, I have to get used to it because this is living a human experience. But that when you're a very spiritual person, it becomes really hard to get used to the vibrations and the energy here. It could be a lot of suffering. It could be a lot of, there's a lot of low vibrations here. Okay, so let's tune into what can he do better. What can he do to get in a better place financially, with career? What can he do to get in a better place financially and also with his career? What can okay. Okay, so I know you're depending on your family, so I don't know the whole circumstance, I don't know the actual situation itself, the detailed part of it, but which this can take time. I would recommend if you can do therapy, I think therapy would help you. I'm sorry, I feel like sneezing. I feel like therapy would help you because I do feel like there's a lot of unresolved emotions and feelings that you have going on towards your parents, towards your father, and towards just towards them. And I feel like these unresolved emotions and feelings have caused you to have this stagnation in your life. Okay, and has probably caused you to have the issues you've been having in the past. Okay, I do feel like there is a sense of low self-esteem I'm picking up here as well, a sense of as well, yeah, low self-esteem, a need of confidence and a need of believing in yourself. And I think that's where the self-doubt comes in as well that I said earlier. I feel like there has to be a point where you have to come to this place where you have to try not to care what people think. And you have to try to not care what your family thinks and what your dad thinks and what your mom thinks and what your friends think or what your other family members think. Because what happens is when you're holding their perspectives more than your own, it gets to a point where you get very lost and you forget about who you are, you forget about what you want, you forget about what you don't want. It's because you start wanting to make everybody happy, or you start wanting to get the approval of everyone else, okay? And the only approval you need is your own approval. So I would say first to come to this place of realizing that it's your life and that you can't make everybody happy. Okay, and the only person that you can make happy is yourself. So it's definitely tuning into yourself and not caring what people think at this point. Okay, um, and also I would recommend if you're into spirituality. I don't know if you've ever heard of sage or Palo Santo. There's a sense of a cleansing that's needed for you. I feel like you need to cleanse yourself energetically. So you could get sage. See, like I have Palo Santo. I light this up to cleanse my space. You could cleanse your space. You could cleanse yourself. You could do some prayers. Definitely, there's a sense of purification and cleansing that is needed for you because I feel like you just hold on to the past a lot. Um, and that energy is just like, it's like recycling over and over, and it's not letting you move forward. Okay? It's like there's like you said, there's a block and you're in this vicious cycle of the same thing over and over, or it's like you're not going anywhere. It's like you're running in the same spot and you're not moving forward. So I would recommend cleansing if you can, your space, yourself, and also getting rid of things that don't serve you. It could be objects that you no longer use that are not helpful for you, or getting rid of disconnecting from certain people or relationships or people that don't serve you. Now, I know you said that you've been more isolated, I guess. So if you don't have any friends right now, then that's fine. But if there's people that you know that don't serve you, I would disconnect from them as well. Let's tune into your career path here. So I would say first, not caring what people think. and trying to build on your confidence and your self-esteem, working on loving yourself, and not paying attention to how you can get the approval, which comes from that rejection, how you could get the approval of other people. Okay? And it comes from self-worth as well. Am I enough? Why I'm not enough? You know. Okay, so, and then I would recommend therapy. I feel like therapy would help you a lot as well. Okay, what's coming through for his career path? What's coming his way for this person's career path? What's coming his way? What's coming his way for his career path? Okay, so I always tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. There's definitely a feeling of there's slow, still stagnant energy. So I'm not seeing anything unraveling for you in the next couple of months. I do feel like within next year, there is going to be more of a focus on something that you like to do. Okay? Because I do see the two of wands here. This is a decision. So you first need to make a decision. Okay, there's a focus of either it's two things that you have in mind that you want to do, or it's just this focus of like a decision and also taking a risk and taking a leap of faith. There's a feeling of it's not being in your head so much already about it and just doing it and taking that leap of faith already. Okay, and like actually beginning that path and starting that path for yourself. I feel like there's like slow, stagnant energy still in these next couple of months for you. Um, so I do feel like within next year, there's something you will be embracing. There will be something you will be focusing on. There will be something that you will be embracing. There's still slow, stagnant energy here. So again, there's this focus that you need to work on your confidence. You need to work on your self-esteem. You need to work on healing. You need to heal. I feel like you need to heal. And I feel like since you haven't, there's this focus that maybe you haven't begun that, you haven't really started that healing with yourself. That's what's been making you go 500 steps back, or it's making you still stay stuck and stagnant. Okay, so definitely healing, loving yourself, working on your confidence, and taking a risk in this or something that you love. I see this happening within the next year for you. Okay, I want to see in regards to the situation with your parents. I'm making a decision, like choosing this already of what you want to do. What's going to happen with his family or his living situation? Can we see here what's going to happen here? Okay. What's going to happen with his living situation or with his family? You know, and I'm also getting a feeling with spirit right now. I know you want to be on your own. There's a feeling that you want to okay. There's a feeling you want to be on your own already and stuff, but there's a focus that Spirit's saying no rush. You don't need to rush yourself right now. First work on you. First work on healing yourself. First work on loving yourself. And then also start making those decisions. Okay? I would journal a lot. That's why I'm saying therapy would help as well. So you could build on that confidence again. When there's no confidence or when there's no, self-esteem, it's really hard for people to even, make decisions or to work or to even, it really disrupts, our daily life when it comes down to our self-esteem and our self-worth. Okay, so it is definitely telling. I am seeing there's this feeling of that you're going to have to be patient, even though I know you've been patient, but you're going to have to be patient with yourself. For right now, I don't see you being completely independent for some time, but I do see next year you're going to be embracing something with work and career, and that's going to start already making you feel better, and that's already going to start making you move forward with yourself. Even if it's one day at a time, even if it's baby steps, you're doing something, and it's helping you move forward with yourself. Okay? I definitely feel like you have actually very healing energy. You're a healer at heart, so there's something about helping people. So maybe you can get into work that involves helping people, maybe the medical field or just in general, just helping people. If it's not the medical field, it could just be working with people or helping people or healing people. There's definitely a focus that at heart you're a healer, okay, and that's coming through strongly as well. And that for right now, I don't see you, being completely independent, leaving your parents, but I do see you working on yourself, and I do see you embracing something with work and career very soon. Okay? And they're just saying work on yourself. And when you start working on your healing and you start aligning with your truth and yourself, and you start focusing on what you love and what brings you joy, all those other things that you're worried about of you relying on your parents, all these other things are going to start falling into place. Okay? So yes. So then now your next question is, feels very bad to kind of always live on. So what I would like to know is how I could improve this. How can you improve feeling connected to this, being, I guess, accepted? I guess that's the question. Okay. Okay. No. How can you be able to contribute positive things without experiencing rejection? Plain and simple. Learn to detach. Learn to be connected to everything, but that doesn't mean you're attached to everything. Learn to live without expectations. Okay? Now this applies to everything. This applies to friendships, this applies to relationships, this applies to family members, this applies to people we work with. When you are able, yeah, you obviously, I'm not saying be a robot, be numb. No. What I'm saying is that when you learn the skill of staying connected to everything but not being fully attached, you will learn the art of living. Because when you learn to not have expectations, you will fully be able to love every experience you have and see it within a positive light without thinking, hey, I was rejected, or they didn't want me, or they didn't see I was enough, or like, you will automatically see everything from this different perspective. When you learn to live without expectation, you got goals, but without connecting to the expectation, you will never be disappointed. You will never be disappointed. And now that takes time to, that takes time to be able to work on that skill. It takes time, but I would tell you that is the main guidance for you. When you learn to disconnect from expectations and focus on just being connected and detached, you will never be disappointed because you are connected with yourself, and you will not let others have power over you, because you know your power, you know your truth, and you know your self-worth. Comes with self-worth, comes it connects again with self-worth, self-esteem, all those things. Okay, there's a lot of quotes on that. I think Buddha has those quotes of like connect being connected to everything but not being attached to everything, um, and not having expectation, because you'll then hold this love for everyone without getting disappointed. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't experience negative emotion. Of course you can, but it won't be to a point where you'll take it so personal, because everybody has their journey. Everybody has their journey. Everybody has their experiences. And I'll give an example. If some person that you want to be with in a relationship, they don't want to be with you, and it's like you love them, but they don't love you, in the end, you're going to think, why don't they accept me? Why don't they want me? But when in reality, it's more of they're marrying you, and there's something also beyond that perspective that you're seeing. You don't know what's going on with them in that sense. Their journey, probably it's something going on in their life that they're reacting like that. You understand? It probably, in the end, it doesn't really have anything to do with you. It has to do with how they see themselves. Okay, and that's what they're projecting onto you. Okay, so I hope you were able to understand that. Probably got off on a rant about that, but I feel like that's a main message for you. And then also look, you got the Magician. So there's a lot of manifestation coming in your life here. I really do feel if you allow this manifestation to occur and you work on these things that I mentioned, everything's going to fall into place. Stop holding the concept of expectation. Stop focusing on expectation and just focus on loving yourself and focus on what makes you happy. Okay, and everything will fall into place truly. I would recommend journaling if you're into journaling, and I would recommend therapy because I feel like it'll help you. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Oh, and the alien thing, definitely, but I mostly feel you're very psychic. I feel like you get premonitions or you get those knowings, you get those intuitive feelings, and I feel like you should also journal about that and connect with that as well. Okay, so I'm gonna leave you with that. I hope this helped. I'm always here for you again, so you can message me. And thank you so much for your support and your knowledge. You're very intelligent. I love everything that you sent me. And I hope you have a beautiful day. And yeah, bye now.